I was wondering if you could talk about song lyrics. I was in the car recently and I was thinking about something that I'd been wanting for a really long time that seemed like it was out of reach for me. And I said out loud to myself, I guess it's time to let that dream go. And the next song to play on the Sirius XM radio station was Don't Dream, It's Over. I knew it was a wonderful message just for me. Can you discuss these types of signs from the universe? Your inner being knows where you are in relationship to everything that you want. Your inner being understands in complexities that Esther cannot begin to describe the vibrational contents of your vortex or of your vibrational reality and the vibrational content of where you stand right now. In other words, your ability to let in is always known. There is a steady calling of your consciousness by your inner being in the direction of your desires. And pathways are opening all over the place, just like the channels in the sand that the water makes as it flows downstream. Your day-to-day moments in time are constantly giving way to be conduits for the receiving of this flow of your asking or this flow of your desire. And oh, it is so good when you recognize that you had a moment, you caught yourself having a moment just like this, where the ask and the receive are piling in right on top of each other, so close together it almost seems instantaneous. You live in a never-ending stream of opportunities to be aware of the in-the-moment progressive fulfillment of your desires. Your awareness of things like this perpetuates more and more of it. You've stated previously that our inner being never looks back, which is an extraordinary thought. Talk more about that. Everything that you are living right now, as you're chewing on the details of life, is causing you, in your moment-to-moment comparative experience, to launch clear rockets of personal desire. And that's where your inner being is always focused, because your inner being is watching where you're going. Your inner being is not looking back at where you've been. When we say to you, when you know what you don't want, what you do want is launched. It's assumed and known. The more you know you don't want something, the greater clarity there is about what you do want. And that is the direction of the attention of your inner being. Your inner being never looks back to justify where you are, only looks forward in anticipation of your full realization of your desires. Your inner being lives with you in your present, and each time you launch a rocket, your inner being looks that way, which becomes your new present. Your becoming is what's on the mind of your inner being. You are an eternal being in an eternal state of becoming. We know that there's richness in your past and deliciousness in your past and things that you want to remember in your past. But it is only the best of anything that you've ever lived that is active in your inner being. And so your inner being has kept all that you remember as being wonderful. Your inner being has held it active in the current now, in the current vibrational now. So there is no past for your inner being. There's just the powerful now that's in the eternal state of becoming. When I'm listening to your broadcasts or reflecting on something you've said, sometimes I get a feeling that can best be described as a short burst of deep and overflowing emotion. It happens when I'm getting what you're saying. I wouldn't describe the emotion as happy or joyful. It's just short, deep, and overflowing, and then soon trails off. I also experience this feeling on occasion at other times throughout my normal day. Is it possible that this is my inner being feeling excited that I'm getting it? I'm actually getting that feeling as I write this. That's precisely what that is. Your inner being is aware of where you are in relationship to your vibrational reality at all times. And when you allow that connection, you're connecting with your inner being and your inner being's awareness of all of that. We like the word resonance. It's a feeling of resonance. It's a feeling of precise calibration, vibrational calibration. It indicates no split energy. And so what's a word for the opposite of split energy? Alignment, connection, current flowing, resonance, completeness, wholeness, fullness, knowing. We like that you answered your own question. I would like some clarification on the subject of lying. I know my inner being doesn't look back and loves others, and that's wonderful. So when someone is lying in the moment of right now, does my inner being ignore it, deny it, or does it recognize the person lying and loves them for it anyway? Or maybe my inner being has some other perspective. I'm eager to understand so that I can align with my inner being on this subject. When Esther first met us in this way, she was very excited. She said to Jerry, "Oh, good. Now I will be able to tell who's lying." And Jerry said, "Well, let's talk to Abraham about that." And we said, a better question is, does this person offering these words believe what they are saying? Because there are a lot of different perspectives. Many people can have different points of view and be in alignment with their inner being and in disagreement with other humans. There's a lot of variety of beliefs and desires, all appropriate, all good, all part of the expansion of the universe. But when someone is saying something with words that they do not believe, then they've got a split energy going on. And that split energy makes them uncomfortable to be around because they're uncomfortable in their own skin. And if you're sensitive to what's going on with them, then you're uncomfortable with them. But your remedy is not to stop others from being deceptive like that. Your remedy is to be so in alignment with your inner being that just because they're uncomfortable in their skin, because they are not being true to themselves, you're not uncomfortable in your skin because you are still true to yourself even when they're not. That's why we like the way you worded this question so much. You said, does my inner being recognize the person is lying and loves them anyway? That's exactly right. Your inner being never finds a reason to withhold love from anyone for any reason. As you watch people living lives around you, and you see something that has been captured by a camera, and lots of people then watching the replay and having different perspectives of what happened when it's right there for everyone to see. And we explain this to you with this important statement. What you see in any moment in time has much more to do with where you are on the emotional scale, with what you believe before you saw it, than the actual details of what you saw. You cannot see past your own expectations, and no one else can either. I do crossword puzzles at night during my night watch with a child. I get excited to notice that frequently I can read a word on the list and instantly find it in the puzzle. Or I can see a word in the puzzle before I read that that word is in the list. What is this? Is it possible that my life can flow more in this way, easier? I'd appreciate some thoughts about this. It's easy for you to forget, as humans on this planet, that you are consciousness and that you can be connected to the broader consciousness that is your inner being. You have much more ability in every moment to allow more comprehension, or to allow more awareness, or to experience more satisfaction. So what you're describing here are moments in time when you are allowing glimpses from that broader perspective. And think about what's going on in your experience when that happens. You're allowing yourself, because of the situation where you're doing your night watch with a child. So this time has been carved out, and what's being asked of you is being satisfied. The child is sleeping. And so you're giving yourself permission to do this thing that you enjoy doing. In other words, what we're pointing out is that your environment or your atmosphere is conducive to connection or alignment. And in that alignment, you have more awareness. That's why so often we're wanting to help you to understand that giving yourself a break, being nicer to yourself, giving yourself permission to take it easy or to do something that's pleasing, really is the path to so many of the things that you want. It feels counterintuitive to so many of you who've been trained into believing that you must be productive and that you must serve others and that only good comes when you are sacrificing. And there are a whole lot of people that don't even appreciate a gift from you unless you have sacrificed in some way in order to make that gift possible. But that is not the way the universe works. When you allow yourself what some are calling the luxury of feeling good, or the luxury of more time, doing more things just for the fun of it, or just because you want to, allowing yourself to feel worthy enough or blessed enough to not be justifying or explaining your existence in some way that can be measured by someone else. We really think it would be a good idea if you could chill out more and appreciate yourself more and give yourself more good feeling moments just because you want them. And you're going to experience more and more moments in time where you feel what we've been calling the leverage of alignment. That's what you were describing here, where you allow the energy and the consciousness and the wisdom of those who create worlds to flow with you in the creation of your world. We are enjoying our co-creative experience with all of you. You're doing extremely well. And we think these conversations are beneficial not just to you, but to the universe at large. This is co-creation at its best. There is great love here for you. And for now, we are complete.